Did you guys know that only 361 million people had access to the web in 2000? Sounds like a huge number, right? Well, as of January 2022, 4.91 billion people used the web. The starting number doesn't seem so big now, does it? If you think about it, us humans have basically become so reliant on technology that we've basically become addicted to our phones, which is exactly why we decided to choose this topic. Our whole lives revolve around the media. None of us can deny it because it is the sole reason we're sitting here in this meeting today. It is our source of news and connection to our friends and the world. Unfortunately, many people are not educated on the mental and social impacts that media have on our lives, which is what we're here to talk about today. Hello, everybody. My name is Khushi, and I'll be presenting on the power of media, which I plan alongside my partner, Arujaa. Now, without further ado, let's begin.
What is media? You likely heard of the term media a lot. Have you ever thought about what it truly means? Well, according to Oxford Dictionary, media is the main mass of communication, meaning broadcasting, publishing, and the internet, regarded collectively. So essentially, media is everything that is associated with digital technology and communication. For example, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Google, and many more.
So let's talk about our education system. Over the last few decades, there has been a great increase in digital resources and learning environments. The online world makes us curious. It entices us to expand our knowledge beyond what we learned in school, to research on topics that we're passionate about. We end up bringing our knowledge and questions into the classroom to share with everyone, making learning a more enjoyable and educational part of our lives. In the end, we're all learning more, right? Well, that's a yes and no answer. You see, when so much information is put on the internet, that just makes it that much easier to take it and claim it as your own, especially in schoolwork. According to the International Center of Academic Integrity, 58% of high school students have admitted to plagiarism. That's huge. With increasing competition in learning environments, especially in high school because of university applications, more and more students feel the need to cheat in order to make their work look smarter to compete with their peers. A lot of the time, students get so overwhelmed with schoolwork that they cannot keep up with deadlines and feel that plagiarism is the only way to succeed because obtaining information has become so simple. In other cases, students get lazy and become too dependent on the internet in order to complete their assignments. In some ways, there has been a lack of critical thinking because all answers are so easily accessible. Social media also has a huge influence on the way that people view the world, especially young and impressionable minds. On social media, we often see the best parts of people's lives, vacations, outings with friends, nice pictures, and more. Because society is constantly using the media, we often forget that it isn't real. With more and more unrealistic beauty standards on the rise, people are comparing their bodies to celebrities and picking up unhealthy habits to achieve a body figure. Although working out is a very healthy habit, some people end up exercising and dieting excessively in order to lose weight and feel comfortable in their own skin. Social media is a personal collage of snapshots that is meant to be seen by the world. They only put the best parts of their life on there, and most of the time, it's fake. Think about it. Would you ever post a bad photo of yourself? Of course not. People go through extraordinary efforts to Photoshop their images and take photos with the right angles and location to make their lives look perfect. No one wants to expose their struggles to the world when we're all competing for the most likes, comments, or followers. Additionally, for those who do post, social media can be extremely toxic due to the derogatory comments that they receive. A lot of the time, even famous people get overwhelmed and receive threats from their fans. Many famous TikTok stars, such as Charlie D'Amelio, have spoken out about this. When they try to share the good parts of their lives, the audience complain about how they do not deserve it. And when they share their realities, they're tormented because they're victimizing themselves. The self-esteem of teenagers is declining, as is the average mental health, because people feel pressured to put up with unrealistic expectations.
Worldwide impacts. While living in the 21st century, many of us can agree on the fact that media has the power to impact our lives in both good and bad ways. For instance, media is the best way to bring awareness, as through posting, commenting, liking, and sharing, words can spread in a matter of seconds. Due to today's advance in digital communication, news and a variety of information can reach from one place to another, allowing all people from all around to be aware and attentive. Examples can be social movements such as Black Lives Matter and the farmers' protests. Such world issues were both discovered by many through media and allowed such people to participate and be acknowledged while living on opposite sides of the world. Overall, the media has the power to impact and spread words across the globe, allowing people of all ages to share their thoughts, messages, and have their voices be heard. Moreover, while the power of media allows us to connect and learn about world issues, it also has a negative side, meaning false and fake information can be spread throughout. Due to this, untrue information is put on media platforms that we use daily, causing us to believe in false information and changing our perceptions and beliefs. Such a problem is an ongoing issue that cannot be prevented, as one can never tell if news and info given through media is true or false. For instance, a few years back, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, was taken into House hearing by AOC to discuss matters on Cambridge Analytica. In such matter, it was discovered that misleading information regarding politics was being put out on Facebook, causing Facebook users to believe in false news. All in all, this proves that information put on the media cannot always be true and hence should be looked into carefully before comprehending. How to use media to our advantage. Because the media is all around us and has such a heavy influence in our lives, where do you draw the line of it being unhealthy? Well, for starters, using the internet as a source for learning and expanding our knowledge rather than depending on it for the answers. Secondly, we have social media, a platform where things are not always as glamorous as they seem. With that being said, it is important to take breaks from social media and take the time to self-reflect and think of ways to make yourself happier for both influencers and audience. It's important to bring yourself back to reality from many times the unrealistic portrayals of life. However, because we have social media, it is important to take advantage of its activism as in creating posts on issues across the world, issues for fundraising and more. When it comes to social media, it's all about balance. As for news, it is highly recommended that social media is not used as a primary source for information, mainly because of bias and information and misleading information. Instead, when reading information about events on the news, use different sources as many have political biases. This way, everyone can come from their own clear opinions and news rather than blindly following politicians.
All in all, this just shows how we humans are quickly evolving, especially with groundbreaking technologies and communications media constantly coming our way. It has become a fundamental part of our lives. We've learned that media has both pros and cons, and that it is so important to learn how to use media in a way that would benefit us rather than tear us apart. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you'll take these ideas into consideration the next time you open up your phone. Thank you for having us.